So you said that you got caught in the Celsius bankruptcy thing.
It was really attractive. And basically my neighbor worked there. She was doing enterprise sales for them. So working with other banks and financial institutions, insurance companies, those kinds of things to try and get them into buying crypto. She put her own Bitcoin into that, earned enough interest on it to build a pool for her house. No joke. She left the company. I should have gotten myself out then, but I didn't get out early enough. And they basically, it was like Ponzi scheme-esque. Basically what happened was because they were holding, they're trustees of your investment, but it's collateral for the company when it goes into bankruptcy. So it was a nightmare. I did not get a hold of my Bitcoin for more than a year. I didn't get it back.
Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you are brand spanking new to Bitcoin, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com to grab your slot in the studio today. I'm going to be your host, Stuart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser eyes.
And I'm your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, proud Bitcoin smash buyer when my wife lets me. We're giving away 10 million sats.
Million.
10 million. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sat Chats, and you are automatically entered to win. It's that easy, folks. And we are marching right now to number 99, the beloved Kristen.
She's going to be here in like a week or two, man.
Stuart's wife is going to be on the show.
Yes.
And what's the objective?
The objective is to get my wife to let me buy more Bitcoin.
Okay.
So this is number 86, Katie, who has a background in angel investments, entrepreneurialism, and some interesting stories about getting caught up in the Celsius bankruptcy, losing an investment in NFT. We're going to be hearing about all that today. And we're also going to be answering any questions she might have about Bitcoin. So stay tuned all the way to the end to see if she stacks the sats with us or makes like my sister and 100% takes the $50 bill.
Jeez.
And she spent it that evening on tacos.
God.
So we're going to get
God
into
bless
all of that today. But before we do, Katie, help our satillionaires out there get to know you a little bit.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for having me. It's really nice to be here. This is not a success story, I'm going to say, in my overall dealings with this type of investment. So my background is actually in commercial real estate finance. So I did loans for buildings for 25 years for major investment banks, financial institutions. And I did deals from $1 million to over $1 billion and working on all sorts of deals all over the country. And I was always looking for ways to invest my money. I invested in stocks. I invested in real estate, also lost my shirt in every real estate investment I've ever done too, which is quite ironic since it's one of my expertise. And then I invested in movie, also lost money there, invested. And then I started investing in startups as well. And I've definitely lost some money there too. So I'm hoping something in my diversified portfolio is going to pop at some point. But I started dabbling in Bitcoin back when was it like 2018 when the first kind of run up started? Is that?
I think it was 2017 when it was like jumping up to $20,000.
Yes. Yeah, that's when I got there was a bunch of dudes in my office. So, I was working for a bank. I was, one of the only women, and all these younger kids that worked for me were trying to be Bitcoin bros before that was even a term. So they showed me the Coinbase app, which is what I still use. And I started dabbling a little bit.
So what was your first experience? Was it a purchase on Coinbase?
Yep. It was purchase on Coinbase of Bitcoin Ethereum, and those were the main ones. And it was, I mean, it felt like gambling, but it also felt like an investment. It was weird.
What was the main reason for that initial purchase? Was it because these guys working for you were just Bitcoin bros hyping it up?
It was I'm very much of the, I say I'm not like a typical woman, because I think most women are very risk averse when it comes to investments. I'm like, I want to get in on the next new thing. Like, I'm all in on AI right now. I'm all in on these things. So like, this was like, I have to learn. I want to learn about this. I want to know what this is, because I think this is going to be something. So, and I feel like the way you really learn is by doing. You know, I could read, I could listen to 1,000 podcasts, I could do something, but if I don't get myself in the game, I'm not going to really be invested, both literally and figuratively, right? So I mean, I did small amounts, like very small amounts. I think I started out like at $1,000, and bought it when it was about, I don't know, when the Bitcoin was about 4,000 when I first got in, and then it went way up. But I still haven't sold any of my Bitcoin.
Great.
Wow.
I love what you said about like learning by doing. Like that's a really good piece of advice for anyone who's listening who has 0 Bitcoin right now. Just buy a little bit. You don't have to like bet the farm on it. Buy a little bit and you will be amazed at what that does to your level of interest and your willingness to invest your time in learning more about it once you own a little bit.
Now, you also said this is not a success story, but if you bought a piece of a coin when it was $4,000 and haven't sold it yet, then your investment has 25x'd.
Yes. But I haven't liquidated it yet. I haven't sold it yet. So it's not like I can say, and I don't want to, because I think that it's still going to go up from here. I mean, you guys would probably agree if you're telling people to buy it now, right? So until it's a realized gain, I don't consider it a success.
Another great perspective. I mean, I talk to like out in Silicon Valley, like venture bros and stuff who work for these VCs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're up like 5x this year." And I'm like, "Really? What did you sell?"
Exited? Yeah.
No, nothing. But
Yeah.
like all these companies raised at like a 5 times valuation. Well, that's not
Doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Well,
I totally agree.
So I can sense that you're still considering Bitcoin in US dollar terms. So I'm not going to push you too far in this area, but I will simply point out that if you think about Bitcoin in Bitcoin terms,
Yeah.
then the purchasing power of your Bitcoin has gone up by 25x. And the amount of Bitcoin that you have is more important than what the number of dollars you can get for it.
That's actually a really good point, because Bitcoin is a liquid investment in or a currency, right? You can actually, I could buy stuff with Bitcoin if I wanted to out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
you could.
So that's a really good point.
So you said that you got caught in the Celsius bankruptcy thing. Now, I'm not familiar with Celsius other than that it was a problem. So was it a Bitcoin only exchange? Was it a cryptocurrency exchange where you could get Bitcoin and other things? What was the whole Celsius thing?
Was a beverage.
No,
right?
It is a beverage, but it was also a platform.
Oh, I thought, okay.
It was like an alternative to Coinbase. It was a platform where you could buy and sell crypto. And what their big hook was that if you put your Bitcoin in there, they were paying you interest of like 6 or 7% at the time. So it was really attractive. Plus they had their own coin that they gave you. And it was really attractive. And basically my neighbor worked there. So my neighbor went to go work there, and she was doing in enterprise sales for them. So working with other banks and financial institutions insurance companies, those kinds of things, to try and get them into buying crypto. So she put her own Bitcoin into that, earned enough interest on it to build a pool for her house. No joke. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to be able to build a pool off of what my investment is, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it in here. And I should have seen the writing on the wall. Like, she left the company. I should have gotten myself out then, but I didn't get out early enough. And they basically, it was like Ponzi scheme-esque. Like, if I had really thought about it, and I should have been smarter, I'm a more sophisticated investor than that, I should have looked at this and said, there's no way they can be paying this interest. This is a house of cards. I got to get out. And but I didn't. So I was wrapped up. And basically what happened was, because they were holding, they're trustees of your investment, but it's collateral for the company when it goes into bankruptcy. So it was a nightmare. I did not get a hold of my Bitcoin for more than a year. I didn't get it back. And it went through the courts, and then you had to, there were thousands of emails that came out. So many were fraudulent. Like, you had to be really careful about where you were inputting the information, because there were so many people, crypto scammers, knew about it. And if you put your information into their site, they could steal it through the transfer that happened after the bankruptcy was over. So it was very, very, very frustrating. And fun fact, one of the bankruptcy attorneys was a friend of mine from college, and he could not even help me.
Wow.
Just random, totally random.
So stories like this are a big part of why Bitcoin has this like bad mystery around it. Here on Sat Chats, based on our experience, the best thing to do with your money is to buy Bitcoin and hold it. Self-custody it if you can, which everyone can if they take the time to learn how to do that. And so I want to make just try to get clarity for the audience. When you say this isn't a success story, you're talking about everything that's like could you separate out Bitcoin and say, no, Bitcoin has been a really good investment for me. And as I've gotten outside of Bitcoin, kind of like what Chris is saying, like I've experienced that risk and I've gotten burned.
Yeah, definitely. I think I got too aggressive and over my skis, and like got too excited about something that I should have realized wasn't necessarily real. Yes, I agree with all of that. I think there's the fine line, I think, between Bitcoin, which I do truly believe in, and I wouldn't be on this if I didn't believe in it. I really do think this is a currency. It is something that is going to be around. I think people should believe in it. But then there's like the Trump meme stock, or fart coin, or what these made up words that are going crazy on Moonshot. So I'm on Moonshot, and I get the alerts all the time, and of the dumbest names, up 98% today. Like, it's literally like people are just betting on dumb names to me. Like, I'm really curious what you guys have to say about that.
Well, for my part, Katie, I have an incredibly difficult time approaching games of chance that are clearly rigged against me. I think there's a lot of people who get enjoyment out of gambling. And that might take the form of some time in Las Vegas. That might take the form of a video game where you trade in-game resources to pull, new skins and characters out of these boxes, and you never know what you're going to get, so you kind of keep hitting the button to see what's going to pop out. It could be a collectible card pack where you're cracking it to see if you get the rare stuff inside. Or it could be chasing meme coins on Moonshot or another platform where, you think that some new coin with a funny name is going to take off, and you want to get rich quick by throwing some dollars its way. So I'm not a gambler. My risk tolerance financially is nothing, zero. And that is why I am attempting to convert from what I see as the riskiest money of all time, aka the US dollar, to the safest money of all time, which is Bitcoin.
I want to also answer that in a slightly different way. So here are the scoreboards. All right. Here's crypto meme coins. We'll just call crypto meme coins the same thing. And here's Bitcoin. What I love about Bitcoin, it's decentralized. Crypto meme coins, centralized. Some company is creating them. It's not decentralized. There's a fixed supply, number 2, for Bitcoin. Is there a fixed supply of 99% of meme coins out there? No, there's not. Number 3, it takes work to mine Bitcoin. It takes work to get Bitcoin. You've got to mine it. You've got to put in energy. You've got to buy warehouses full of computers, or you have to have a little tiny bit axe anywhere on that spectrum. Mm-hmm. But it takes work. Does it take any work for these centralized companies to just print their faces off and make as many units of these meme coins as possible? No, it doesn't. They just say it's so. So most times these meme coins have nothing in common with Bitcoin whatsoever, but they get grouped in the same classification by the media and therefore like just general population's knowledge of this overall topic. And it really frustrates me. But it does sound like you have a good amount of knowledge when it comes to Bitcoin. And I would love to hear kind of where you're at. What do you love about Bitcoin? What, as you've learned more about it, like what gets you excited about Bitcoin and the role that it can play in the future?
I think that, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head with those 3 reasons. The decentralization is a big one. I think the other thing I would say is like it can be used to buy things today. Like you can't buy things with a meme coin. You can actually buy something like a physical good or buy services or whatever. I think the fact that Bitcoin is an accepted form of currency shows there's faith in it, right? That it's something real. So I look at it like, you know, I don't want to get too political, but like, look at what's happening in the US economy right now. Look at what's happening in the other economies and tariffs and all these things. Like there's something more stable about Bitcoin than even our own economy, right? It's like it can be a little bit more, it's almost more recession proof, or yes, there's a lot of volatility to it, but if you look at the volatility in the long term, there's like big spikes, but then it's sort of jagged, right?
Boom. Reggie, chop that up. Get it on Instagram. Right now, it's more stable than our economy. Bitcoin is more stable.
Do you guys agree?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the most stable thing that there is.
It's not defined or confined by any borders.
Well,
right.
There's no policymakers that control its, whatever, anything about it. Tariffs, taxes, no inflation on Bitcoin. There is inflation on Bitcoin. It's 1% a year. And when we hit 21 million coins, it's going to go down to 0% a year.
Yeah. And I think it's actually even less than 1% right now. But let me ask you this, because I think I want to drive at two things here for the rest of the show. You talked about how the majority of your investments have not been winners. Real estate, you've lost money. Investments in startups, you've lost money. Stocks, I'm not sure what the situation is.
Stocks have been good to me, I will say. Yeah.
Bitcoin, crushing.
Yeah.
Crypto, like Ethereum, others, ooh,
NFTs.
especially Ethereum in Bitcoin terms. Ooh.
Yeah.
What do you think is contributing to these investments not going well? Are you picking them incorrectly to get started? or are you, basically hanging in there instead of cutting your losses because of various emotions, or is it something else that I'm not thinking of?
Okay, so a couple of things. So on the real estate, well, actually, I can boil it down to one thing. It's the people involved. So on the real estate deals that I've done, I bet with the wrong people that couldn't really execute. And I would say that I haven't necessarily trusted my gut on the things I that haven't done well. So it's a lot about the people. So the reason why I say all that stuff is Bitcoin isn't a person. There's not a person that this goes back to the decentralization. Like this is a whole bunch of people, right, that believe in it and that are using it and making it come together.
Yeah, Bitcoin is a machine. Now, let me ask you this. You talked about you didn't go with your gut on the investments that went sour. So let me get a gut check on Bitcoin from you. What's your gut telling you?
I mean, I'm pretty bullish on it, honestly. Like I haven't been focusing on it as much, but it's not a like not to spoil alert, but I'm taking the $50 in Bitcoin. Like there's no question. Like why I don't normally get paid for podcasts. Why not make an investment out of it?
Bam.
But it's yeah, I mean, I was at, recently I was at a conference that was all women talking about alternative investments. So there was everyone from real estate to stocks, to startups, to art, to Broadway shows and entertainment. And Bitcoin was a big topic there. And the expert there, she said everyone should have a Bitcoin. Everyone should endeavor to own some amount of Bitcoin. And she talked about a story when she, like on New Year's Eve, when Trump coin launched on Moonshot, and how she happened to be sitting at home and happened to be, screwing around with it, put a couple bucks in, and she made $20,000 in a couple minutes. But to your point earlier, it was a matter of minutes and a matter of executing and being right there at the right time and watching it and being able to take advantage of that at that time. She probably could have made a lot more if she had waited it out, or I don't know exactly when she bought it, but whatever. But she said, I look at that like gambling. I look at that like that was a fun thing for me to put a couple bucks in, see what I could do. It was money I was willing to lose if it was going to go away. And so, but Bitcoin is a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree. I'm so glad I own it, and I've owned it since that long ago, which at the time felt like I was getting in late, because there was so much activity. But it's so interesting to see you're not. I was so early.
Have you bought any since?
Yeah, I bought a little bit. I probably bought I bought a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Like for a while, at first I was like really trading, like over the first year, I really traded it. Like I basically, I took all my initial investment out, and in all the coins that I bought at the time, and then have let it ride.
Okay. What is stopping you from being more into this, learning more about this, maybe buying, dollar cost averaging each month or each week? Like what is contributing to this idea of buying a decent chunk, really, back in the day when it was $4,000 a coin, and buying some sporadically since then as it's on its way up to 108K? Like, why are you not on fire for Bitcoin?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think it's maybe it's busy with other things, but you're right. I could set up the dollar cost averaging. I could set up a $100 a week purchase, automatic purchase, or automatic thing. I don't know. I don't know why. Because I do think it is here to stay. I don't have a good answer. I think maybe maybe it being really easy. So wait, can we go back to something you guys said before? So you guys all hold it yourselves. You don't hold it in any platform.
Correct. Okay.
So you do it like on your own, like drive or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're interested in self-custody.
Well, I don't know. Is it like, how hard is it? Tell me
Well,
more.
how hard is it to have your Bitcoin trapped up with Celsius while they go
I
through
know.
bankruptcy?
I know.
That sounds hard.
It's a lot harder than holding the keys to your own Bitcoin. And when you think about Bitcoin, it's one of the few, if only, things that you can literally truly own. When you think about the dollars you have in the bank, those dollars are not yours. And they're not in the bank. You know, when you think about your money in the bank, it's not yours. It's not money. It's not in the bank.
Yep.
Now, maybe you could truly own gold, but someone could also break into your house and grab the gold and be off with it.
And usually you own gold that's sitting somewhere else. You know, a lot of people don't custody their own gold.
Yeah. And maybe you can own a house, but someone could also just, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law / a hurricane, earthquake, fire, tree, flood.
Then you have to insurance. You know, you don't have to insure Bitcoin.
And then we might have a mortgage, which goes back to the bank. And again, the bank's not yours. It's all the same dang loop. With Bitcoin, you can own Bitcoin by controlling your seed phrase, which is basically like the password to your account. And those 12 words, Katie, that unlock your wallet just for you are so incredibly difficult to hack into that a computer would need to make more guesses than there are atoms in the observable universe. Satoshi, with a computer, made something so secure that a computer cannot break into it. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? It's like being all powerful and yet making a stone you don't have enough power to lift. It doesn't make any sense. But what you have is an ultra secure place for you to store your generational wealth. Think about going to the grocery store and going to the Ithaca hummus shelf
department.
Let's say you select a nice black bean hummus for yourself because you're getting ready for some dippable action, some tortillas, maybe a little bit of a 7-layer touchdown taco dip.
Taco night.
You go to the checkout counter, Katie, and you self-checkout, obviously, because that's how things are these days. They don't even got a human for you anymore. Skeet, you pay for it. Okay, that's your hummus. And then you take that hummus, you go directly back to where you found it. You put it back on the shelf and you say, grocery store will take care of this for me. Does that make any sense to you?
I know. So how do you guys do it? Tell me how to do it. What should I do? It's my first step.
Yes, this is your first step, okay? So not only will we go over this now, but since you've already hit us with the spoiler alert that you are going to be picking them Satoshis, y'all go ahead and smash the subscribe right now for your chance at 10 million sats, because y'all could be up out of here unless you want to hear more about how to take Bitcoin into your own hands. Please, when you buy your hummus, take it home and put it in your fridge, bruh.
Yeah.
So, one easy option, and this is the option that we recommend for our guests who stack the sats with us, is to open up your app store and download a wallet called Blue Wallet.
Okay.
Super, super simple.
Real easy.
Ultra simple. Right now?
Yeah, do it right now.
You can do it right now.
I did it at the pool. Did I tell you this story?
With the waitress 12-word. Yeah.
I did it at the pool with my buddy who didn't have any Bitcoin. It took 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, Blue Wallet?
Blue Wallet. Yep. That should be in your app store. And it's a free wallet. It's ultra simple.
Of course, there's like a couple, because that's how these things
Just
go.
look for blue wallet. It should be like 3 blue rectangles stacked on one another
Got it.
in different
Got it.
shades. Download that sucker and
Okay.
you follow the prompts straight up. You just follow the instructions and bada bing, bada boom, you now have a wallet, right? Right now, your Bitcoin is with Coinbase.
It's actually, yeah, it's with PayPal now because of the Celsius thing.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right.
go ahead.
Good for you.
All
Some
right.
of it's with Coinbase, some of it's with PayPal. But yeah,
Yeah. And ain't none of it with you.
correct. Yeah.
So much better to control your Bitcoin so that you can sign the transactions yourself. You can send it yourself. You can verify it exists. You can watch it travel along the blockchain and the Bitcoin network, etc. Right? Bitcoin is beautiful because it does not require your trust or your faith. You talked about people having faith in Bitcoin, sure, and we love that. But every 10 minutes, Bitcoin proves itself all over again to the entirety of the whole world. And you can inspect every single last element of Bitcoin, from its source code to the transaction history to the mempool to your own wallet. I mean, literally none of it is behind a curtain. However, the exchanges do all of their work behind a curtain.
You can't even get Coinbase's proof of reserves. We don't even know how much Bitcoin Coinbase holds.
It is technically not clear whether Coinbase has the Bitcoin that it says it has. So you download Blue Wallet. You follow the instructions. It's going to say, hey, do you want a new wallet? Do you want to restore a wallet? You want a new wallet. When you say new wallet, it's going to say, cool, here are 12 words. And they're going to be in order from 1 through 12. That is your seed phrase. You have got to write that down somewhere in the real world. Do not take a screenshot. Do not put it into a password manager. Don't text it to yourself. Do not allow it to appear anywhere in the digital world, because the Lazarus Group, which is an elite team of hackers whose job it is to steal money in order for North Korea to continue to operate, they will find your words and they will take your Bitcoin from you. So do not do that.
No,
Okay.
write it down.
Write it down, laminate that little buddy, put it in a fire safe.
I'll put it in my fire safe. Yeah.
There you go. When you get later on, maybe you create, maybe make 2, throw one in the fire safe, and make another one disappear in a magic trick, and then you like pluck it out of the air later I don't know, right? But put it somewhere super secure.
You know what else you can do? Memorize your 12 words.
That's insane.
Yeah. How hard? That can't be that hard, right?
Easy. Memorize them. And then you can take your Bitcoin anywhere in the world with you.
Squadoosh.
So cool.
Insane. What form of money can you carry around in your head in the form of 12 words?
None.
There's only one. They're like, excuse me, sir, do you have $10,000 on this airplane? You can't travel. Well, actually, I have squadillions of dollars in my head, fool. Try to get me to declare that. You can't. So you'll write down that seed phrase. Those are your keys. If you lose your phone, if you lose your wallet, if a meteor strikes your home and destroys everything inside, you can simply download Blue Wallet again on a new smartphone, and it will say, hey, cool. Do you want a new wallet? Do you want to restore a wallet? You say, I want to restore a wallet. They're like, cool. What's your seed phrase? Beep, boop, skeek, boop, keep, boop, boop. Bam. You're back inside. Your Bitcoin's there. Your Bitcoin never goes anywhere. It's not even on your phone. It's on the blockchain, right? It's in 22,000 computers worldwide. And they will vouch for you so long as you can prove ownership through your seed phrase. So that's how you do it. Now, once you got your wallet set up, you go to Coinbase and you say, excuse me, Mr. Armstrong, I am no longer comfortable leaving my hummus on your shelf. I want it to be in my fridge. And he'll say, all right, I guess so. It's better for me if you keep it with me, but I can't keep you around. So here's your Bitcoin. You'll pay a fee to get it off of Coinbase.
Right.
I'm not certain if that's the fee directly tied to the cost of moving it through the Bitcoin network, or if it's the fee to transact with Bitcoin plus Coinbase dropping something on top to make it hurt. I'm not sure. All I know is when I moved my Bitcoin off Coinbase, to my self-custody, it hurt because I only had $50 worth of Bitcoin from my allowance doing chores around the house. And I had to pay like $16 to get it off. And I was like, bro, I just lost my entire Bitcoin fortune trying to get off Coinbase. So you'll have to pay a certain amount of fee, but do it because it's worth it to control it yourself. Go to PayPal, say, give me that freaking Bitcoin, fool. And you'll input your wallet's address into these places and they'll send it to you. And if you have any problems, email show@satchats.com. Our chief of staff, number 40, Anna Bevan, will help you because you are now inside one of the inner circles of Sat Chats, and we will help you directly.
You're in the Welcome Center now.
Oh, you're in the Welcome Center.
We're helpful.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it. How do you feel about that?
This is what I needed to know. This is like exactly what I wanted to know coming into this conversation.
Great episode, Stuart.
So this is good.
That was awesome.
I have one question though. I still have some Ethereum. Can that go in there too?
Liquidate it and buy Bitcoin with it.
Okay. In fact, that's probably what I will do because it's up anyway. So who cares? And Bitcoin goes up faster.
Yeah.
So okay. So now here's my next question. So it's all in there. Can I buy Bitcoin through this app too?
No. This is like a vault. It's like Harry Potter's vault in Gringotts. The gold goes in the vault, but you can't buy gold from the vault. So we recommend you find an exchange that you trust and you set up a dollar cost average strategy. Now, all of our beginners, we ask them to see if they can come up with $50 a month. If you can go a little bit harder, maybe you want to try $50 a week. So figure out how much and how often, and then use that exchange to set that sucker up on auto magic to where you never think about it again. And every time you open up your blue wallet, you just have more Satoshis than the last time.
So you can set it up so that the coins actually go right into your wallet.
Yes.
What do you guys recommend for the platform?
We recommend Bitcoin Well. So
Bitcoin, I don't know that one.
It's not well known, which is a shame because they are doing things the right way. And since they're choosing to do things the right way, they're growing more slowly than others, but I guarantee they will end up winning the race. Coinbase and other exchanges will hang on to your Bitcoin for you until you're ready to take it off into your own self-custody. But Bitcoin Well is a friendly, publicly traded Canadian exchange that works in Canada and the United States, and they do not custody your Bitcoin. When you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, they go find it for you and they deliver it directly to your wallet. At no point do they take care of it for you, which means at no point can it be lost, hacked, wrapped up in a, collateral, bankruptcy, whatever, right? They're so adamant about what we believe in, which is that you should control your Bitcoin, that you must have a wallet in order to use the exchange. So if you go to bitcoinwell.com/satchats, okay, you will be greeted with an exclusive video from us about why we like Bitcoin Well and why it's important to take care of your own Bitcoin instead of leaving it on an exchange. And spoiler alert, there is a reference to hummus inside that pitch, ba-bam, which I'm quite proud of. So check all that out. Tomorrow you'll get an email from us that says, hey, here's how to get you, because there'll be instructions for how to get the Bitcoin from us for today's work.
Okay.
And then, you can get set up on Bitcoin Well and you can buy however much each week or each month that you feel comfortable with. And ultimately, we just want to kind of blow the dust off you here, Katie, and get you back onto Bitcoin, refocused on Bitcoin, and pushing deeper into what this thing really is. Because if you love getting in on the next big thing, there's only one thing that is the next big thing. And it's the biggest thing ever, and it is Bitcoin.
We like to get every Bitcoiner's pre-coiner pitch here so that we can hear kind of what your angle would be to someone who has no Bitcoin right now and is trying to decide whether they want to invest. It's great for our audience to hear it, in your words, and it's great for us to learn from you, why you feel like this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, if you were talking to your neighbor or your nephew or your mom, what would you say?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. I think a diversified investment portfolio is really important. So you should have some Bitcoin in there as one of your assets, in addition to stocks and other things. I also think that the fact that you can start out buying tiny amounts, very small amounts that are affordable for you, is also a great gateway in. You don't have to go buy a full Bitcoin at $108,000 today. You can buy $5 or $20 or $100. So you can do what's affordable for you. I think the other thing is to be patient and it not be worry about the daily ups and downs, but rather look at the long-term gains. This is a buy and hold, as you guys said. And I think that you should look at it as taking what you guys talked about today. Don't look at the exchange rate every 5 seconds. Think of this as its own currency and what you are able to buy with it.
Yeah.
Love
All
that.
right.
What do you think? How did I do?
You did great.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Zero executional risk on that pre-coiner pitch.
None.
So let's recap here with Katie. Katie got her start in real estate finance. So loans for buildings.
Mm-hmm.
She has always been interested in jumping into the next thing while the getting is still good. Made some investments in real estate as a result. Could be better. Made some investments in the stock market. Big ups Wall Street. Appreciate you. It's been good to Katie.
Yep.
Has it performed to the level of Bitcoin over the past 16 years? No, impossible. Okay. Nothing has performed like Bitcoin has, but it was still better than some other things.
The dollar. Better than your savings account.
Better than your savings account. Oh gosh, the US dollar is
Gross.
Ew, gross. Where's Lucola? He commented recently. He's still around.
Oh, thank God.
Freaking love that guy. Invested in some startups. And basically, it's almost like with several, 29 companies, I think, Katie might have said. It's almost like you're your own little venture capital fund where you have a diversified portfolio of real estate, stocks, different companies. And my understanding with some of my research into VC recently is that a lot of them are going to be stinkers, and you're hoping out of 30, 2 do pretty good and one pops off to infinity and just makes up for all the other stuff. Well, guess what? The one item in your portfolio that will pop off and cure all other wounds is.
Could it be Bitcoin?
Could it be Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It could be Bitcoin. It is Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, we are absolutely sure that it is a machine that is going to do what it has been doing no matter what. It ain't a person. It can't get sick. It can't get fired. It can't resign. It can't lose motivation. It can't double cross you.
Doesn't take smoke breaks.
Doesn't take any smoke breaks. Okay. Won't ask for a raise. Nothing. It's just a machine. And every 10 minutes, it is ruthlessly and relentlessly preserving the value of those who have bought their fair share. Now, in 2017, some crypto bros got you interested in that space. And even though we are Bitcoin gentlemen, we do recognize that crypto bros have their place in the ecosystem.
There's proof of work there.
Yeah. So they helped Katie to get into Bitcoin when it was $4,000 a coin. Golly, would I have loved to have been able to do that.
Thanks, bros.
Appreciate you, bros. They did you solid, except for also you picked up some Ethereum. No thanks.
That's okay.
Vitalik, no thanks. So you hung on to that all through, which is really interesting. It's almost like your non-interest in Bitcoin protected you from selling it too soon. And now you can come back to it and say, hey, this thing is like, wow, really good. And I need to pay more attention to this. I need to get out of that Ethereum because ain't nobody care about that. I need to get that Ethereum. I need to turn that into Bitcoin that I control in my Blue wallet. I need to get the Bitcoin off PayPal into my Blue wallet. I need to get the Bitcoin off of Coinbase into my Blue wallet. Sorry, Brian Armstrong, but also if you want to come on the show, let us know. Show@satchats.com. We thought we saw you in the spa in Vegas. Turned out it was just another ball guy.
Doppelganger.
And then you want to jump onto bitcoinwell.com/satchats to see our two beautiful faces. At least, you can see my nose in the video like you can here. And we will get you all set up to make that kind of weekly recurring buy, let's say, so that you can just slowly and confidently acquire more and more Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin does what Bitcoin does, you'll learn more and things will change for you. At least that's what we believe. And that's why we ask each of our guests if they would be willing to come back on the show in 9 months to give us an update on their Bitcoin baby. Would you be willing to do that, Katie?
Yeah, totally.
Heck yeah.
Let's go. We can't wait to see what has happened between now and then, now that you're re-energized. And we also need to go back and pick up that NFT story because we didn't even treat the story of losing your entire investment in an NFT.
That's okay. We kept this
An
about
NFT company. An NFT company.
NFT company. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it wasn't an NFT itself. It was a company that was helping people create NFTs, white labeling NFTs.
White labeling NFTs. So we'll unpack that sucker here in 9 months.
Help you. Let me help you.
Now we're going to take a break here and I'll turn it over to the Lord Kirby.
All right, so Ithaca Hummus is our founding sponsor here at Sat Chats. You pre-selected the lemon beet. Stuart's going to act as your taste buds today. Have you had the lemon beet before?
Yes, it's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
I'm like a huge Ithaca Hummus person. Huge.
That makes me feel so good. I still can't believe when people say that. I'm like, about Ithaca Hummus? What? It's so great.
I literally ate it every day this weekend.
Wow.
4th of July weekend. Yeah.
Let's go.
Everybody, every party, every house I went to had it.
Every house you went to,
dude, this is
in New York had it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, heavy in the streets in New York.
I love it.
Let's try it out here. Cheers. I'm
jealous.
I've missed this flavor.
Man,
it's been weeks. So good. Wow. Love it.
Dude, lemony.
Beety. Sweet.
Yeah.
Not earthy.
Not earthy.
The raw beets. They're raw beets. They're not cooked. Not like cooked canned beets. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ain't no heat touching that beet.
Nah. Ooh.
So delicious. You already know where to get it, where you live. All you Satillionaires out there, smash the subscribe button, then go to the grocery store and smash some Ithaca Hummus. Buy the dip.
All right, Katie, it is time to make you your offer.
Yes.
Which we already know what you're going to say, but the on-chain confirmed price of Bitcoin is $108,243.
Thanks to number 60, Simple Steve's massive breakthrough, the UTX Oracle.
So I'm going to take 50 and divide it by 108,243. I'm going to get a big old decimal that I will multiply by 100 million because there's 100 million sats in every Bitcoin. Did you know that, Katie? 100 million sats in every Bitcoin?
I did. Yes.
Okay, great.
Did you know your fair share of the Bitcoin network is 250,000 Satoshis?
No, I did not know that.
It's a shockingly small amount when you divide 21 million by 8 billion people. So if you have 250,000 Satoshis, you can rest easy that into the future, you will have your fair share of the network.
Okay. That's a cool stat. Okay.
And if you got a lot more than that, like 0.25, then you're like, yeah, boy.
Then you're a duke. All right. So we've got 46,192 Satoshis, or 50 of those.
I'll take the Satoshis.
Yes, sir. Oh, it feels good.
Good to be back.
Good to be back here. Every Satoshi counts, and we just helped Katie stack 46,192 of those.
It's not 10 million, though.
Now, it ain't 10 million,
Holy
which
cow.
is, I mean, how many X is that?
I don't know, but it's like 10 grand.
It's like 10 grand, y'all, in today's silly fiat terms. It's an absolute world of purchasing power in the future. So Katie brings our scoreboard to 79 guests who have stacked the sats here with us, along with 7 who still need a little bit more time. So, Satillionaires, this is the part of the show where we ask you for your value in exchange for ours. And before I do that, Tady, is there anywhere you want people to go online to interact with you, or do you even want them to interact with you in any way?
Yeah. I'm really active on LinkedIn. Katie Dunn. It's Katie Dunn. And they can go to my website, katiedunn.com, or my business website where I advise startups is themastheadstrategy.com.
I like that name. So those will be in the show notes, along with a handful of ways that you all can support the show. So first way to support the show, Satillionaires, smash the subscribe button on YouTube. You will be automatically entered for your chance to win 10 million Satoshis when we reach 100,000 subscribers. I know Katie's going to smash the subscribe button when she jumps off the call because she's trying to get them 10 million sats.
Yep.
You can also come on the show, satchats.com, just like Katie did. We don't bite. It's a super easy podcast, no preparation required.
It's easy.
As long as you've lived your life, you are perfect for this show. And our Lightning and on-chain Bitcoin addresses are in the show notes if you are so inclined. Remember, SatChats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. However, our guests' view that Ithaca hummus rocks is a great one, and you should adopt it yourself. Thanks so much for watching, Satillionaires. We'll see you on the next one.